I used to have like super strong feelings about me not having the, I guess, the matching analytics or whatever
to your talent.
Yeah, but it's like, that's when I knew I was thinking about it in the wrong way. A creative shouldn't be thinking about numbers. There is some times where it's like, okay, I wish this did get a little more attention or things like that, but I feel like that's every artist.
That's a good point.
Just continue to focus on your artistry rather than what's to be big or, you know, analytics or numbers or media reports and shit like that. Like, you're an artist at the end of the day.
What's going on, guys? You're watching Kids Take Over right now, chilling in Miami. I'm with Highway. How's it going, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. You just, like, what you been up to today? You just woke up?
Yeah, I literally just woke up. Came in late last night. Got a little bit of sleep. Got right back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we could have done this interview like in Seattle, cause
really?
So where I live is I live in BC, like in Canada. Yeah. So that's like 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
And I come to Seattle all the time, bro, cause I have family there.
You just didn't know I was there?
I didn't know that you were from Seattle this whole time. I thought you were from like LA or something like that.
What? That's crazy.
Right? I like when I go out there, I stay in this place called Northgate.
Yeah.
You know Northgate?
Yeah, I know Northgate.
You ever there?
Yeah. There's like a mall out there and shit. Like they got like.
They actually closed the mall.
They did?
Like it's gone now.
No, I'm thinking of there's one close to it. You know, Alderwood Mall.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely familiar with Northgate.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What you like? I don't know. What do you think of Seattle?
Seattle's not Miami, I can say that. Like, every time I come here, I love it. But like, Seattle's beautiful. Like around this time of the year, summer, spring, views. If you say that BC is like, you say it's like a better version of, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to come there. But Seattle is, I'm sure you probably expect the same thing being in Seattle during the.
You can see like the mountains and stuff. Like it's cool.
The mountain from everywhere. And
for
shit
sure.
Like that. At this point, it's really just a place where I lock in. That's where I'm working the most at. I'm getting a lot of shit done just because a lot of this time I spent like being an artist, I'm just learning and just figuring out like where I want to be or what I want to do. Just being in Seattle, I found a mode that I can stay in. And then, my family's there and like, you know, my life is there, but at the same time, it's just like, this is where I'm gonna always live here. I'm always either have a home in Seattle or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also I want to be able to spread my wings and go here and there whenever, you know what I mean? But
that's your base, yeah?
Yeah, I'm always locking in.
That's what's up. I respect that, bro.
Yeah.
As of lately, I've been like pushing the Highway agenda on KTO.
I've been peeping, you've been going crazy. I appreciate that for real.
We did this thing, it was like top 15 songs of 2023 so far. And you had 2 in there. And it's because I think the first time I heard All You Needed with Ty Dolla, I was like, yo, this is like the best song of the year.
That's fire.
But what's crazy is like, then I heard Sin City shortly later, and I'm like, no, this is even better than that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Like, those are definitely like your 2 best songs, you know?
That's fire.
Before even getting into the music, I just want to know like how Highway even like came to be. Like, when did you start doing music?
I started doing music in like 2013. I mean, it's something I've done my entire life, but I locked in at like the age of 13, 14. I started making beats. I had a laptop. My mom got me a laptop. Beats, I kind of just like transitioned. Was like, okay, I get it. I got it down. I kind of in control of my sound to a point where I don't have to focus 100% on it. You actually do, but at the same time, I was more focused on being an artist. Yeah. And now I'm starting to get back to being a producer as well. Yeah. I just like dibble and dabble every like back and forth.
Right, but I mean, like, what led you to being an artist, considering, like, it's not that Seattle has some crazy music scene that would make you want to be like, oh, I want to be like this guy, or I want to be like him.
Me and my friend, or one of my friends who had made beats, he had a home studio, and, like, we had never seen somebody with their own, especially our age. Like, this is, like, 2016. Yeah. Like, this is before everybody kind of, like, figured out where to get a laptop and microphone and USBs and all this shit to
You're probably like, what the hell is this, bro?
Yeah, so I'm seeing it in his room. He's got like a whole little studio. You got keyboard, the computer, the mic stand, and all this shit plugged up. Like, bro, what is all this? Like, we can just do this. What they do in the studio, like, you think of studio at that age, you like, you gotta have a label, or you gotta have $1 million to get in the studio, but he had it right there. He did whatever he wanted to do, experiment, whatever. And so from there, like being at his house, and he told me how much it was. He was like, yeah, this mic is $80. The laptop, you already got a laptop, you're good. I'm like, nah, what? That's all I need. We already got FL.
Facts.
So from there, I think like my birthday came around, like my 18th birthday. On my birthday, I got like $80 and just ordered the microphone.
Yeah, it was like a blue snowball microphone, or like?
It was it was just gold. It had like, it looked nice, but it was just a USB regular. Like,
I feel it. What were kind of like your struggle days like? Let's say like in like the early years, like, do you remember a point in time when you just like didn't have anything going for you, like whether it was financially, like?
Hell yeah. Like, what?
Like, tell me about that.
Bro, it's weird because I feel like me as a person, I think this is why so many people relate to me, because I'm always like, I like to be on point. I like to have nice things and wear nice clothes, but I come from a place where that's not regular, and I'm still there. So I think people feel connected to me. One of my most struggled times was, I think, the start, kind of, because it was like the start of artistry is a whole different grind.
It's a grind.
As a producer, I started getting good at producing in like 2016. I had like baby placements.
Yeah.
And kind of that just brought like kind of some light onto what I was doing, to where I was able to sell beats for like 200, 300 to local artists or people I could find online, or people who found my SoundCloud or YouTube. I used to make YouTube type beats also.
Were you like able to like buy the cool clothes and shit like that, or were you just like, nah, I ain't
doing this? Like I said, like I always had like nice stuff. Like just growing up, my mom worked at Nordstrom, and like she used to style people that came in from out of town, or like artists or comedians, entertainers, and like they would go directly to her. So she always had a lot of style. Like there'd be times, and this ain't no disrespect to my mom or none of my family, but there'd be times where we had the new, like whatever Jordans or Sean John jeans or whatever it was back when that was like important, and we didn't have like barely any food, but she always we were always on point, like haircut. Like she used to not let us go outside. We had snot on our face or like crusty eyes, like none of that. Like we gonna go outside, we gonna be put together. Like we wasn't struggling, like not eating and shit, but it was just like sometimes that was just how it was. I don't know why. I feel like the early 2000s was kind of like that for a lot of people.
Yeah, I feel it. You know, some moms just want their kids to like just be presentable, fly, like, you know, and like that's what matters most.
That's how that was always important.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. I mean, obviously I had the opposite in my family, where like my mom doesn't even know what that is. So really? It's about the food, it's about your house, and everything else goes to waste, you know? Like the ugliest clothes, you know? but that's why it's fun, because when you grow up, then you can buy yourself those things. And, you know?
Did you have like video games growing up?
I had video games, but like even the games we bought, like, so I'm from Pakistan, right? They were like bootleg games from Pakistan, you know?
Damn.
So it'd be like Grand Theft Auto, but then when you play it, there's just like some fucking weird shit like going on. It's like some Chinese like version of it.
No.
But it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
Why, did you have like the video games and all that shit going up?
Video games, I wasn't really into video games until I got a little older. I wasn't really into video games. There's only like one or two favorite video games I ever.
Which ones you play?
Skate.
Oh, 3. Skate.
And then like GTA. That's it.
You strike me as someone who would want to play Skate for this reason, because those games are so dope when they let you like create a character and then like style him and like put shoes on him and whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like that's any game that you could create a player, I had it, or like wanted to play it or something. But yeah, hell yeah, Skate is like all-time favorite. Skate 3.
Definitely,
all time.
Bro. I think kind of going into the music, like when it comes to my bias, like I get intrigued by like a unique voice, right? And I was telling my friend this the other day, I think like you fit in this category, it's a very small category of like these artists who have almost like, you could say, like the perfect voice. I think it's like Future, PartyNextDoor, Casey, I don't know if you know Casey, Young Thug, and then you.
Fine.
You fit in this like little category, you know?
That's fine.
Have you ever kind of like heard that, you know, like about your voice?
I would say early on, I remember like my brother would tell me, like, it's weird. He told me Ty Dolla Sign and and PartyNextDoor.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, man, watch, like you're going to either be working with these people or you'll notice the influence of these people or just something. Like,
Yeah.
and it's weird. This is like way back when I first started, and now I got a song with Ty. Like,
With
that's
Ty
crazy.
Dolla Sign. That's my favorite song by you too.
That's fire.
So
that's crazy as fuck.
Yeah, Ty Dolla Sign. That's one. I think you guys have great chemistry, but trust me, I think PartyNextDoor and you would create the perfect song, bro. Like, cause his songwriting is so unconventional, right? Like, furthest thing from generic, and then I think your melodies are super unique. So I think like I can see like an incredible like moody track between you guys.
Crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm deeply inspired by Party, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the moment he came out, like, locked in on him.
Yeah.
A lot of the people I'm either worked with or surrounded with have been names that were brought up to me, like, on some, like, one day, like, this is gonna happen. So, for sure, like, like, a lot of the stuff I do is already, like, kind of thought out or foreseen, one of the two, like.
Yeah. What's like one of your favorite songs by him?
Favorite songs? That's a good question. Most recently, the last song he dropped, his last single, that shit was crazy too. But other than that, like, most recently, him and Trippy, like, that shit goes crazy.
Definitely.
Him and Trippy, yeah, I'll say those are my top two right now.
Yeah, those are some good picks. And then he has like classics as well, obviously.
Yeah.
I remember I interviewed Sofaygo in like late 2021, and I was asking him like, who do you think is like next up, right? And he was naming some artists, and he was like, oh, Highway 2009, right? I didn't even know who you were at that time. I was like, oh, cool, I'll check him out. But he was praising you like super back in the day. So like, what's your kind of thoughts on him and like the love that he's shown you?
Yeah, Faygo's cool people. Like, me and him relate in a lot of ways. Like, he's real. He's and oh yeah, his team also, like, his team. I kind of came up being around like backwoods and stuff like that. Yeah, Lamar, shout out Lamar too. Yeah, his team also like kind of brought me in, and I think probably woke him up to, or like exposed him to what I was doing, and then he caught on. Like, we got so much similarities. Like, he got a good voice, he sings, and like, you know, he's also like cool people to be around. So.
Definitely. You guys both have like some of the best melodies in your lane, I feel like.
Facts. I remember when I found Faygo, like, this was before I even knew how connected we were, like, between like just being involved in music. But I remember I found his music. I'm like, what the hell? This is like, I could tell this is the new sound, like the new wave. And I'm like, bro, this is what I do. Like, we gotta work. Like, I hounded his manager, or his producer, was like, yo, me and Faygo, like, come on, let's do it. ASAP. We made some hard shit too. I was being in the studios when he was in Seattle for his last tour. Now, he came out to Seattle. It was fuck because I was sick. I got sick, and I think he stayed, but I had to stay in the crib. I wasn't trying to fuck nobody up. But we made one song though. We got a song in. That shit's fire.
Is that song ever gonna come out, or is that just kind of like vaulted for now?
I hope so. Yeah. I feel like it will.
Yeah,
for sure.
Is that like your song or his song, or?
It's his song.
It's his song. Yeah, got you. Yeah, definitely think you guys should do some stuff. I know you made a song with Destroy Lonely, I believe like a year or two ago.
Right.
How was that like? Because I feel like at least like your aesthetics match.
Destroy Lonely's cool. Like, you tell when some people are just being themselves. He's definitely like one of those type of people. You tell he's like just doing him, and it works.
Who's someone in that lane of like the Faygos and the Lonelys that you also want to like be around and like in the studio and just see what music comes out of it? I
can't lie, one of my like most favorite artists is or not most, I would say that's like the artist I listen to all the time. It's Yeat. I listen a lot of Yeat. Like,
how can you not?
And I know everybody does, but it's like, nah, I feel this shit. He's a new artist that's going stupid right now. Like, who, you know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't want to? But genuinely, like, I think his shit crazy. I'm not like, and I don't mean this in like a cocky way or anything, but I'm not really like a fan of a lot of artists or like new artists and things like that. Like, I don't really like do too much outside of my own circle. But he's definitely somebody that's like this. We never met, or like I'm not connected to him in any way, but he's just fire. So I think that shit, me and him, our sound would just go crazy. That's
Yeah.
just as far as that goes. That's how I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't smoke or anything, but I can tell that the experience of listening to you is probably so like enhanced for people who do, you know? And the reason I say that is because your beats are really trippy, you know? Like Fuck a Rubberband is like the trippiest beat like I've heard in a while.
That's funny.
Is that like intentional? Like you want your beats to be in like that sound, that aesthetic?
But I think naturally, I think my sound is just kind of either infectious or just intoxicating. You know what I mean?
Intoxicating. That's the way to describe it for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of based on like I pay attention to the whole creative side of it. Like these days, everybody's like connected through social media, so I'll look at like the artists you've worked with, and then look at even your profile picture. Like if it's something like that catches me, like this dude's profile picture looks creative. I know he's a creative motherfucker, so
Really?
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
like
but it's like okay, for example, let's say you saw like Mike Dean's profile picture. He doesn't really look like someone who's like one of the greatest producers ever, but he's one of the greatest producers ever.
I feel like it comes down to like what you're attracted to. I know Kanye's seen something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that brought him like attracted to him like creatively. Aside from music. But then again, you never know. Some shit is just straight music.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the times when I meet real musicians, it's through another person. Like one time I was in the studio with London on the track, like way back, like 2019, like just on some like little dude just scouting, like seeing what's going on around in LA or whatever. And then there was this guitarist there, and he happened to be SZA's guitarist, and it's like you gotta get in those rooms to know who the real musicians are. But when it comes to like just beats, I eventually want to take like both of those aspects and put them together, like grabbing those musicians or people that play the keyboards or like old keyboards and Rolands and shit like that, and then can work with like and this motherfucker don't even have to know anything about what's going on like currently in new music, but I want to take that and like mix it with some up and coming producer who just got hard ass drums, and then fuse those sounds. Like
Definitely.
I feel like eventually when I'm at that level, that'll be like the polished version of my current sound.
I can see that, and I agree. That's why like really big artists like a Travis or like a Rocky will like work with some people who aren't even in the hip hop scene at all. You know, they're just like amazing guitarists, right? And I think that's when the best music comes out. But you know, what about the producers you do work with right now? Because I think on the Monochrome project you have like Mike Hector on it, who's dope, super dope.
Facts.
Who else? I think you had like Akachi on it as well. Like who are some producers you're working with like them?
My producer I've been having like around me for almost the start, Xjay. That's somebody I found
Xjay,
like
that's his name?
Yeah, Xjay. He made like Better Flow beat. He did like a lot of my shit. He's on every single project I ever put out, but that's somebody that I like built my sound with. Like me and him just back and forth. We just play the game. He'll send me a beat. Yeah. I'll record to it. We'll listen to it in the PlayStation party. And then that was just like how we worked, like how we connected, like, played the game and shit.
Well, you got like, aside from him, you have like some god tier producers following you. I saw you got like F1lthy follows you, BNYX follows you. BNYX like down near like OVO at this point. Like
going crazy.
What's the word with that? Have you tried to get beats with either of them or?
Yeah, I done had like a few packs, or we definitely got music together. I think me and F1lthy got some shit from like 2020, and then me and Benny, like he didn't like send me shit like back and forth. Like that dude's going crazy right now. So the thing, like the shit he's doing right now, like staying tuned into what's going on while being like at the level he's at right now, I think that's fire. I think a lot of upcoming producers should definitely be paying attention to him. Yeah, because he's one of the ones that's he's creating the sound right now for. He's gonna take over like in rap, period.
Bro, I hear that like, I mean obviously he's producing for like Drake and Travis, but there's like even bigger artists that want to work with him. That's what I'm hearing, you know, like the Beyoncés of the world and things like that.
Yeah,
so
man, he's like that.
Literally. But yeah, that's super cool that he's still tapping in with like artists like yourself and things like that. Yeah, I think he's like one of the only few doing that. It's super cool. So shout out to Benny.
Facts.
But you know, What about like, can random people send you beats? Like if you just look at your DM, like
yeah, no, I like went through, and I think like 2 weeks ago I went through and was like responding to a lot of people who just DM me. Like before I didn't used to do that because it was just like, why do you think that this is the only way to make this happen? Why don't you try and collab with other producers who work with the artists? I think people are catching on to that, or just like, there's a lot of different ways. I remember before we even got to the point where we're at now, when I was focused on being a producer, there was a lot of things I was doing and focused on to get connected rather than just like spamming somebody on Instagram all day. But like aside from that, I like when people tag me and shit that sounds hard and like it's actually hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just always gonna catch you.
Well, since you come from such a like producer background, and there's hella young producers that watch our show, so like, what's like a tip that you would give to them to actually work with, you know, to actually get a placement from an artist and not just like spam, spam, spam?
Oh, well, shit that worked with me was like when an artist would tag me in a story post, and like if the beat is hard, or you got like a fire ass like picture as your story, I think that's like, I feel like you gotta express some sort of creativity.
Yeah.
Like your creativity gotta show outside of just how things sound. So I think using a fire picture and tagging the artist, or tag a few maybe, or even the producers they might work with, even tag them. Like, you know, I think that's what caught my attention. Yeah. Other than that, I ain't gonna lie, I would definitely be on YouTube, like, because I was a YouTube producer. I know how like I know how things kind of work. Yeah. To not be caught up into the bullshit or just like people spamming beats on YouTube all day.
Yeah. I can attest to the first thing you said. It actually does matter about like your picture and even like your name, to be honest. Yeah. This is gonna sound so weird, but even when you're like looking to see like who to follow back and shit, right? You can kind of just tell without even clicking on the profile, like, like is their name like legit? You know, is it cool? Does it stand out? How's their picture like? And also one thing that matters a lot is like the mutual friends, right? If you go on a page and it's a producer and he has like 30 mutual followers, you can be like, oh, okay, like I know his people, he knows my people.
Exactly.
Like
that's even easier.
Yeah. Right. So that's my tip, personally. But
facts.
I saw your Genius credits say that you've actually produced for like Duwap, Kaine, and like Chief Keef. Like, tell me about that. It's so random.
Yeah, this is like a lot of this all was in the same time span. I think like either between 2016 and 2019. Chief Keef was through Bass Kids. Bass Kids used to go to LA and like pull up on Chief Keef at his house. Yeah. And then I'll just collab with Bass Kids, or we'll be together and make the beats. He'll pull up on him, and like I think he probably, in the name of the song Chief Keef made was called Highway. I think he probably just thought like he named the beat Highway. I doubt he knew who I was. Yeah. But it was just like funny because like,
were you called Highway at this time though?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was funny. Like I was straight Highway.
Yeah.
So
that's
funny.
Like such a coincidence. What the heck? For sure. I fuck with your fits though. I feel like you definitely strike me as someone who cares about fashion a lot.
Definitely.
You got like Supreme sending you stuff. You model for them. Right. Describe kind of like your overall style.
I would say my style is like, I would say it's hood or like thug / punk. Like, cause I grew up around a bunch of, everybody I grew up around was sagging, wearing their shoelaces unloose. Untied, yeah. And just kind of just, you know what I'm saying, just rough. But at the same time, things that inspired me, I was always inspired by like creative people or artists or rock music. Both of those styles, I think kind of fused for me. I mean, it's weird because it's like, I'm not a designer clothes fan, but there's just certain shit that's like certain types of quality that I like that only designer clothes make. But I have been seeing a lot of up and coming or just like new clothing brands kind of know how to either emulate or do their own thing that is equally as good as
the designer
stuff. Yeah, obviously, like right now I got on Balenciaga, Rick Owens pants, but this shirt is like from somebody that it's like some trap shit. Like I put up to this like trap spot, like kind of pop-up shop. It's like some just shit you'll find in the hood, but it's Miami.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, you know, Miami's a little different. They're gonna add more flair. Like I was like, I just want a tank top because it's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
But then he put his logo on it, and it's a weed brand flavors.
Yeah.
So I like mixing like shit like that because that's kind of it's a mixture of where I'm from Seattle, where it's like real grunge, real punk, real dark, and like, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna wear like some all black pants and baggy, and you know what I mean. I'm saying. Just like mixing it.
Also, you don't want to be that guy who's just like full out in all designer. Like that could also look corny, you know?
That shit looks corny. And even when it's like the new hot shit, I mean, like some people are buying it. Yeah. Some people are into it, but it's like, come on now, like who are you? Like where's your style? Like, right. You know what I'm saying?
What's some stuff that you just like don't mess with, like clothes wise? Like what could we never see you wearing?
I try and stay away from Rick shoes. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've worn them. Like,
you had to do that to me, bro.
Yeah. No.
I'm dead, bro.
No. And I literally had those on for a shoot yesterday.
Oh, really?
But at the same time, like, I just try and stay away from like things that are like
I'm not gonna
far too trendy. But what you have going on it makes sense.
I appreciate it.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you're like a super stylish person. I just think you got your own taste.
Like what's comfortable,
Yeah, you look comfortable. Exactly. You look comfortable.
Hey,
and then they are comfortable as fuck. I can't lie.
Yeah, these shoes are cool. I do want to say one thing though. I've been seeing your tweets, right? You're like bi-weekly tweets because you tweet like every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I can conclude from them that you just don't fuck with relationships. That's what I can conclude.
Like with women?
Yeah.
Oh.
like because you always talk about how your music career will like be more important than girls and shit. Like I
in my music,
yeah. like what do you think?
To be 100% transparent, it's like a 50-50, like love-hate relationship. Because with being heavily involved with women, and like I want to say this, like just for young men that's chasing their dream or like chasing your goals. To be 100% honest, you don't. Like, there's no need for that to be a focus unless you know you got the person that you are gonna be with for the rest of your life. I think you either have that idea or you have that feeling. Yeah. But even then, sometimes like that don't mean you gotta force it right then and there. It might take a little learning. And like for me, I like to learn. I like to keep experiencing life until I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I kind of got things down for me to take this next step, and that's how I treat life. Yeah. So I would say just for people who are just anybody, young men, period, or even women. This is for young men and women. Just focus on you until that person comes. Yeah, I think that's what's important.
And also, like we're young too, and I think my thing, and wow, this is like the first time we've talked about relationships on KTO, but I think that you just can't get too deep into it. You know, I feel like it's always once it's past 4 months, then you're too deep into it. It's always a 4 months. You know,
that's funny. I say if you make it past the 4 months, or if you don't make it there, just I don't know. I guess just go with your heart. Then that's what it comes down to. Go with your heart, and make sure your heart matches your mind too. Because at the same time, heart can be saying something, your mind is telling you something completely different. Agreed. So keep those two intertwined. You're gonna make the right decision for sure.
Agreed. The last thing I want to ask you is just how underrated do you feel? Because being a creative myself, I think that there's plenty of times where I think the best work we do doesn't get noticed, you know? Whereas like something like the okay work will get noticed. And I don't know, I'll always see comments that are being like, y'all are sleeping on a highway. It's like, I don't know, what do you think about that? How underrated are you?
Early on, I used to feel like that. I used to have like super strong feelings about me not having the I guess the matching analytics or whatever
to your talent.
But it's like that's when I knew I was thinking about it in the wrong way. Like,
yeah.
This ain't like a creative shouldn't be thinking about numbers. That's for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm just like, there is some times where it's like, okay, I wish this did get a little more attention or things like that. But I feel like that's every artist. I think every artist feels like there's artists with the biggest song in the world right now that aren't even focused on making that sound, that want to do other things, but they can't because everybody knows them for this one sound. So it's like,
that's a good
just
point
continue to focus on your artistry rather than what's to be big or, you know, analytics or numbers or media reports and shit like that. Like, you're an artist at the end of the day.
are you kind of like a firm believer that like with time, like that shit would just come? Like
I believe that, but it's also on you. I feel like it's like 50-50. Like I remind myself every day, like, okay, if you're not where you want to be, what are you not doing?
Right, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
right?
And it's not that it got to be wrong, but it's just like you may not be doing just enough of what it is. You might be doing exactly what you're supposed to do, but you might not be doing it long enough every day, or focused on these things about it, these details. So drive yourself crazy until you make it happen.
That's a good point, bro. Even with like YouTubers, I'll notice like they'll make like such an amazing video, and then they'll kind of I mean I feel like I'm a culprit to this too, but it's like there'll be something so amazing, but it's just like they don't do it again, or like they don't do something like that again. It's like you have to do that a couple times to at least see if it works. You know?
You got to learn it too, because a lot of people would be like telling me their favorite song, and it's like, damn, or his favorite song by me, and it's like, damn, I just made it. I didn't like have a formula for it. But then it's like, okay, well, there's got to be some way you can like keep this going. And don't try and redo things, or like if you get a big song, I'm here trying to, I gotta make another hit or whatever. Nah, but just there's a certain thing or a certain way to do things that you may, it's not hard to do again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it though, bro. I was excited to link with you. I think you're one of my favorite artists, just like sound wise. I think you're one of the most talented, bro.
Thank you.
And I just think that you're like you have like a well put together like package too. It's just like with the look, the sound, and it's like real music, you know? I don't like using that word real music because it makes me look like
old head or something.
Like, oh, it's really not that. It's just like, you get what I mean, right? Like,
yeah, nah, I get you. Nah, facts, nah, I respect it. Like that's what I focused on. Like I focused on that before I even got to what the current sound was, like making sure I can do both of those. That's equally as important. So
well, hey man, it's fun sitting down with you. It's Highway. Watching Kids Take Over.
Yo, thank you guys for watching this Highway interview. Let me know who you want on the channel next, but I think the next video is going to be something really important. It's kind of an announcement I want to make. It's going to be like a talking vlog video, and yeah, I feel like you guys are going to be pretty excited. So check that out. Stay tuned on the channel. Subscribe. The button should be somewhere on the screen. Hit the like button, comment whatever you're thinking, because that stuff really helps the channel, and I like hearing what you guys have to say, you know, some feedback. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video.